Wow. How is the weather there?
You know what? It's cooler now. It was really hot, but now it's getting a little more cool. So I like
That's
that.
amazing. You look great.
You
Josh,
do too.
you look great.
You do too.
While we have here, what an honor to have Joshua Leomiti here with us today. And I want
Thank
to
you.
greet everyone. I want to thank I want to thank you for all of those who are fan of our page and joining us every single time that we're live, and even afterward as well. But we have here with us one of our Tamafa now from Samoa, and Fatalo Fatia, Joshua Leomiti, for joining us. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you.
Even though that it's going to be limited, it's not going to be long, but I'm so grateful, very grateful to have you join us today. And we're going to cover so much today, and maybe in the future he can, when he has some time for us, then he can join us. So Joshua, I'm going to give you this time to go ahead and give us something about yourself, where you're from, where in Samoa you're from.
Yeah, my family. Thank you again, Liana, for bringing me on the show. I really do appreciate it. It's a humbling experience for people to reach out, and talk. So thank you. Um, I'm from my family is from Paviai. Am I saying that right? Sorry, my Samoan is. I'm still working on my Samoan, but that's where my dad's family is from, American Samoa. I forget where my mom's side of the family, which is also my mom's mom, my grandma. But golly, I should have wrote these information down. But I also have family from Upolu, so I was out in Upolu for Bible school a few years ago. So I can't wait to go back to both American Samoa and Apia.
You know what, Josh? The reason why I usually ask this question is because you'll be surprised. A lot of people are so, they'll be like, "Oh, that's from my village. His mother is from my village." They get so proud of it,
Yeah,
so proud of it. So, your mother is from Upolu, right?
my mom actually is from American Samoa, but we have her side of the family is actually from Upolu. I forget the village name. My mom and you'll see her sometime next week. Her and my auntie Sina will know. They'll
Oh,
give.
I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to meet those beautiful ladies. Can't wait. Okay, I don't want to take too much of your time, but let's straight to the point. Everyone knows that Joshua, he's an actor.
Yeah.
He's an actor. He is a filmmaker, a director. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
And a lot of his short films, they got a lot of awards. Probably one of the film, I think they got like what, 9 awards.
9 awards, six
Nine
nominations.
awards. So before we get to that point, any of your family are in the film industry?
You know what? Yes. My auntie Tina Wiseman, she actually passed away, unfortunately. But I remember as a kid, she was a very much of a free spirit. But I always knew I had that passion for entertainment. And I remember she stayed with us when I was a little younger for a few months. But she passed away, and then my uncle Carson Leomiti, he was in that. I mean, in that Armageddon movie. And I'm actually gonna
Mm.
call it like this. Yeah. So yeah. Who else? There's a few other people. I mean, I consider them family, even though they're not blood. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. But yeah,
It runs in the family, huh? So
yeah,
when
yeah.
Chichu, I know, because sometimes it's not going to be the same as your family, your passion, and
Yeah.
and your gift and your talent. It's going to be away from the other family members. But when did you
Ah,
realize this is something that you want, this is your passion?
man, I knew it inside my spirit when I was a little kid. And my parents, they didn't really know it or understood it. And they did their best. They did always encourage me, but as a kid, no one told me. I just knew it inside that I'm not for sports, although I like sports. I'm not. It was that artistry inside of me, and I just knew it. I just didn't know how to express it as a kid. But now, I knew that. I just feel like it's a gifting. It's not even for fame or for vanity or I mean, I would like to make money one day, but it's in me, if that makes sense. It's always been in
It's
me. That's
Joshua, it's getting in there. It's recognizable. A lot of people are recognizing this movie. And like I mentioned before, he won one of his piece was what, 9 award, right?
nine
Was it
awards.
nine? Is that the tapu?
Tapu pilot, yeah, the sample pilot, yeah, amazing.
Walk me through the tapu pilot. Walk me. Well, what is it about?
You know, Tapu is opening up the conversation of the effects of it's very touchy child molestation, and how that can really alter someone's life. So it was difficult to try to put 20 minutes. So it was a sample. It was a very good sample, but a lot couldn't be filmed. But that's what my goal is, to open that conversation, but told from a male's perspective. You know, it's always kind of embarrassing to talk about it, but not to reminisce in the past or look at me because this is why I am the way I am. No, it's trying to tell a beautiful story, but a very raw story that may have people feeling uncomfortable. But I mean, that's what cinema is about. Storytelling is not just to feel good, but also to think. And so that
Why
that
do
was my
you Go ahead? Why do you think it was a challenge? Why do you think it was a challenge when the movie got out? And you mentioned it was about, molestation. Why do you think it was a challenge?
because the story involved the boy Arona growing up and entering into sex work. But that's not what he wants to do. He just uses that to make him feel like there's a void in his life, and that's what he turns to. But what makes him feel better is being a caregiver. So he hides that, but he gets caught at his job. So it was very hard because I got a lot of personal messages instead of public comments. It was personal messages from people, and I did pitch it for $1 million. It was a low budget, and it was the top 4 projects. But they felt that it'd be too uncomfortable for certain audiences. But I'm like, with the things that they're showing today, it shouldn't be uncomfortable. And it was
Absolutely.
yeah. So it was not about sex, but it had to do with him going to sex work to trying to find the void in his life, that maybe I'll find somebody that will want me when I consent to it. But telling a beautiful story, and people says, well, did you do that? It doesn't matter if I did that or not. I'm telling a side of a story from a man that is really hard to tell. And one day I do believe that whether it be a season or a future film, I'm still gonna do it.
Wow, Josh, just by hearing what you're saying, wow. I mean, just the thought of it. I mean, these are all, I mean, a taboo subject, huh? Which is not supposed to be taboo. We're supposed
Yeah,
to talk about it. We're supposed to find out the solution, the root of the problem.
yeah, and the consequences of, and that's why I named it taboo, because it rooted from that. The catalyst of this man's life was when he was altered as a child. Now he goes to something else that I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, or people will be fine with that life, sex work, but it's more of a, I'm embarrassed of it, but then I got caught at my job, where I take care of old people. So my thing is, the last place on earth is where he got caught. So now his life is falling apart, and what is he going to do? But that's how I wanted to talk about molestation, from a male's perspective, that hey, I don't do this because I find pleasure. I do this because this is what happened, and maybe somebody would want me now because I can consent to it. But that's a statistic. And when I did pitch it was very hard, but people were very intrigued. It's just, when you mention sex, they're like, but I'm like, it's not even that type of
Hmm.
season or future film. But it's very raw, and that's my heart, to tell
Mm.
people not linger in the past of what happened, but it's okay that this stuff can have lingering consequences, even as man, even as a woman, and to talk about it and says, look, I can survive, you can too. That's my heart for Tapu.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you mentioned, raw. I mean, even the piece Josefina and Dad. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you can tell your heart.
Hmm.
You can, if you haven't, if you're listening to this and you haven't watched this and you haven't looked into this, something that something that you guys want to look into it. You have to
Yeah.
look at it. Um, Beside your passion, before we go back to that, that subject. Beside your passion of filmmaking, what else interests you?
Poetry and writing and philosophy, and of course the Word of God. But those things interest me most. Not feelings. I have feelings. I have emotions, but I'm moved by thought. I'm moved by philosophy. I'm moved by other people who've done it tried and true, and so I find great pleasure in writing my thoughts out and expressing it. So I'm not just an artist, but
Amazing, Josh. Let's go back to Josefina.
Sophina.
Josefina, love that name. Okay, can you mention something about Josefina?
Yeah, shout out to Manu and Hinano Taniolu, the directors and writers, and also Li'i
Mhm.
for giving me the opportunity to play such a womanizer. But that was exactly their point too, is telling a story that yeah, right. Some people go through different routes just to pay the bills, and I actually had a very fun time, very challenging. People saw me and like, can you do the row? But when I opened my mouth, I did the row.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it was it. They gave me a big opportunity and to open up that conversation too with women in entertainment, the adult entertainment that they what they go through. Like I said, I don't condone it, but I don't judge people who do that. But that's what Sosafina is about. And it's really good. I think people should support it as well because we're independent filmmakers trying to come up.
Mhm.
Samoa,
Um,
Polynesian.
Correct, correct. And I really encourage everybody to go ahead and look into these short films, the Tapu, Josefina, and he also created the one which is um, for his father, which is
Yeah.
called Dad, which we're going back there. Um, is it, Joshua, is it a challenge? I mean, you're living in the heart of Hollywood. You're in
Hmm.
Los Angeles. Is it a challenge for the Polynesians to get into filmmaking in Hollywood?
Yeah. Great question. It is, I do. There is representation. I mean, there's a few of my colleagues that I've come to actually know, like, when I do see them, but they are there's a lot of they're on film, they're on TV, and I give my hat off to them because it's tough. And when they look at me, like my question is, and I had this conversation with my friend. Long story short, um, when they think of a Polynesian, they think of someone
Big.
big, someone intimidating. Yeah, right.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
when I'm submitted, and I can't say who I auditioned for, but there was probably three big projects so far. Um, but when I'm in that virtual room just like this on a casting call, they just look at me like he doesn't look Polynesian. So I want to be my guiding star would be not all Polynesians look like what Hollywood says they look like. They look like me
mm,
too. I may be off
mm,
the but I'm very Polynesian Samoan at heart. I mean, I love my culture. And so it's tough for me, believe it or not. People says, "Oh, Josh, your looks, your smile will get you into the room." I'm still getting into the rooms. And now just praying to God that they'll just believe in me because they do look at me like this. And I can't say their names, but they looked at me like, I mean, yeah, we saw his headshot, we saw his show reel. We liked his audition. We're bringing him back, but it's like, where can we put him? So my thing is, I produce my own stuff. Writing, and poetry's always been my other part of myself. So I use that and this that. If I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna have to put myself out there to show them I can do this. I can.
mhm. Right, right. So Josh, the Tapu Josefina, and I know Dad, you're the one who created it, and the writing as well. You did the writing for Tapu as well, and Josefina.
No, Sosafina, I just acted in. So
You
but
just acted.
yeah, so for um Dad and Tapu was my first two written projects that I produced, and not just started but completed. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah.
Right. So, Joshua,
Mhm.
um, where did you come up with the courage? I know what happened, with your father, to write to write and even edit it and direct the movie Dad?
I the day we walked into my dad's room. So it's a long story, but I'll cut it up. Uh, the facts of what the world says doesn't match the experience. And so when we got to my dad's room, like we already knew he was gone. He was already hard. But what do you
Mhm.
think? You just saw you haven't seen your dad for about a month and a few days because we couldn't go into the hospital. So right when me and my mom were the last ones in there, and we walked out, I looked and I saw my dad there, and I knew in my heart that I was going to write something about it, and I did, and I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I had a dream of him maybe um, a, f- a few months after. But we didn't know, Luana. We didn't know my dad left two videos on his phone, so we already had my dad's service and everything. And so my mom goes, Where's dad's phone?" "I don't know, it's somewhere in my room." So we charged it. The next morning, my mom goes, "Your dad left two videos," and he never sent it to us. And I told my mom that day when we watched the videos that's in the film, "I'm gonna write about this, mom, and we're gonna use this. I don't know how, I don't know when." And we were kind of just hesitant, like, no, we don't want the world to see this. But I said, "Don't worry, mom, I know." And when I had that dream of my dad and what he said, "I'll always be with you guys," was the same thing that he said in that last video. So it's very symbolic. And that's how I wrote that. It's very short, but it's very powerful, and I just knew, if that makes sense.
Is that the video at the end of the dad? Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, the two last videos that my dad and like I said, that's a whole nother story too. That one day I do want to make a documentary that fight for dad because opposed to what the world says, like I said, it doesn't match the experience. We're not saying he was sick, Luana. He was
mhm.
very sick, but 3 days into the hospital, he was sitting up. 3 days before that, he couldn't bathe himself. My mom bathed him. Now imagine the last time you would be bathed. My dad was a man's man, but for him to be bathed, that was the last bath and shower that he had. We didn't know that. But 3 days after that, he was sitting up out of his ICU bed. That was that first video that I opened it with at the end. And then the last video, 7 days after that, he's on a full respirator. But the hospital is telling us, oh, he's getting better. They lied. So when I made the short film Dad, I just stuck to the dream and I put that information, at the end with it's very concerning that the last place on earth would be that we think that will preserve life will be the actual place that will take it. And I know that's not what the society would want to hear, but it is the truth. It is the truth.
How do you think your father? How do you feel your father think about the short film Dad? Do you think he'll be so proud of you?
I think he would. He visited. He always used to tell my mom, "I will find a way to come and see you guys." And I do believe in dreams. It was like
Hmm.
I think if they could see out of heaven, he would he would say, "Malo, Joshua, my son, I believe in you. Keep going." I think it would be proud of it.
It is such an amazing short film. Such an amazing short film. What did your mom say? What did your mother say about it?
After she saw it, because we didn't really want to release my dad's last two videos, but after she saw
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
film, she's a bit she visualized things, and then she says, "I'm at peace with sharing this with the world." So I had to get approval from my mom first.
Wow. Oh, before you release it.
Yeah, before I released it.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing, Joshua. I know our time is coming to an end. Any other programs that you're doing right now? Any other short films? What's in the future now?
The next one is The Deceiver. My friend wrote it and I produced it, and so it's in post production. That just basically means it's in the last stages before completion. And yeah, it's a thriller, and so it's a really good one, and I'm leading in it. So it feels good to be a lead Samoan actor, and not oh, you're just this or you're just that. No, and I'm proud of that. Not conceited, but just proud of the fact that this is what I was built to do. and I have a high respect for it. So The Deceiver is the next project.
Is that you have that mentality, whatever I put my mind into, I can do it. Doesn't
Exactly.
matter if I'm Samoan, I can be just like those people. I can be an actor. I can do great things just like those people.
Exactly. And that's my mindset. Victory, even in all the hell, victory. That's my mindset.
It's amazing, Josh. Amazing, Josh. Is there anything you want to say before we finish this conversation?
Um, thank no, actually, and if and any other Polynesians are in the industry, or have interest, here's an outlet, Gyms of South Pacific in Luana, and you can also hit me up. And I like to collaborate, network. But thank you, I really do appreciate this. It's been fun.
Hey, Josh, what can you say to those? I know, especially at this era that we're in right now, thank God for social media.
Yeah, yeah.
It's such great platforms for us to connect. But what can you say, especially to our islanders who are still searching for themselves, who don't know who to ask, who don't know where to go, who don't know what I mean, what can you say to them who wants to be in the film industry?
A great question. I'm still getting there, but my advice would be it could be very demoralizing because you will be rejected many, many times. But if you believe in yourself and if you have it, I really believe that your talent will make room for you. That's what I believe. That's my faith. And although it could be demoralizing, like I said, you have to be strong in yourself. You have to be okay with getting no's. I got plenty of no's, trust me. But if you have the heart for this and you can last, you have consistency, then do it. And try, do it. So that's and yeah, with social media, Luana, I just wanted to say this that don't be moved by works that are bigger than yours. I don't judge my work based on someone's work that's bigger than mine. I'm an artist who isn't in competition with popularity, regardless of what the opposition says, regardless of what popularity says. Because at the end of the day, your talent will make room for you, regardless.
I just want to say this to our viewers and our listeners as well. I know everybody has those plastic cups and plastic spoons and plastic forks in your house, right?
Yep.
He was um, he was rejected. I think it was 93 times from a lot of banks. He went for a loan to fulfill his vision. This was his vision. And to add to the answer of your questions, and then he was rejected so many times. And he went home and talked to his wife and about it. He said, "I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit because nobody is giving me any loans. Nobody is giving me any money to move forward with the vision." And his wife said, "If this is, go back one more time. If this is the vision that you believe in it, I want you to go back one more time and I'm going to be behind you. I'm going to support you 100%." Well, guess what? He went back one more time. That one more time, they gave him the loan, they gave him the money to fulfill his vision. And here we are. We are using his forks and his these plastic spoons, his plastic forks, his plastic, and he is a multi millionaire right now. He went to I think it was 93 or 98 banks
Wow.
times to try and get the loan. So just like what Joshua said, just do it, right? Don't listen to the no's. Just do it. Just like Nike said, just do it.
Yes.
Just do it.
Just do it and you make your own decisions. You can stop, you can go. I'm a starter and a sticker too. That's the mentality. Do it.
I like it when I love the way you said when you went there and they were looking at you because you're not built like what they imagine. Their
Exactly.
imagination is, oh, these people, because someone told me that we are built as warriors. That's what Samoans are. They said this Samoans are looked at as warriors. That they said that's the meaning of it. We are warriors, or we're built as warriors. So they're looking at you like, oh, we're expecting this warrior. But then when they didn't see you like that, you went and create your own movie and wrote his own movie. People, you can do that. He
That's
went and created and wrote his own movie and directed his own movie.
and that's a warrior
What a
spirit.
mindset. What
Yes.
a mindset. This is
Thank
the
you.
kind of mindset that we have to get right now, that we have to get in our brain right now. What a mindset. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Thank you.
He went and created and wrote his own movies and acted in his own movies. And now he's getting a lot of other opportunities. Before you know it, there's a breakthrough. Before you know it, there's a breakthrough. And before you know it, Luana is there in Hollywood, and I'm going to interview her in front of The Rock.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Rocky knows. Hey. No.
Life and death, life and death is in the power of our tongue.
Exactly. I believe in that.
Life and death is in the power of our tongue. We don't want to use our words. We don't want to use our words to kill your destiny. We gotta use our words to build your destination, and just do it. I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Joshua. Is there anything else that you can encourage our people? What can you say to our people to encourage them? If they want to come and follow, if they want to be the filmmakers as well.
I believe that giving. You receive, and so giving time and giving an ear and helping, and knowing and being honest. It's a hard reality, but that's what I believe. I believe for our own people that we come together, man. We know how to serve. I believe God's given that humility in our people, and so why not bring that on set if you have what it takes? Also, so I hope that helps.
It's amazing, Josh. Amazing, Josh. So when do you think when is the Deceiver coming out? Are we looking at next year?
We are looking at probably December or the beginning of January, but I hope and pray before December, because it's so good. And it's a treat for our own people, because like, what? A thriller, a Samoan? Well, the leading character is Samoan and Polynesian. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you so much. We're coming to the end of our program, and I want to thank you for your time. I know, it was kind of challenging to get a hold of Joshua, because he's a PC man, and he's doing his own thing, filmmaking, man. Filmmaking. Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you so much for your wisdom and sharing your talent with us, and looking forward to see you in big theaters. I am so looking forward. We got to speak it. I am so looking forward. You want to do any shout out before we leave?
Yes, to Luana for giving me this opportunity, and for everyone, who you are. Thank you guys for helping me on this journey, and I love you guys all, and I'm here to also network with anybody else interested.
Hey, Josh, before The Deceiver comes out, I would like to have the honor to speak with you on the platform as well. Yes. Before The Deceiver comes out, that would be great. So if you all want to see the Dad short film, it's called Dad. It's on YouTube, or you can even go on Joshua Leomiti. He even has it on his platform as well. But it's on YouTube, and also Josefina and Tapu, they're all on YouTube. If you want to see them, right?
Josefina is actually on manuscriptfilms.com. manuscriptfilms.com, and then you can check out my two works on YouTube at leomitiproductions.com, or again on my Facebook or my website, joshualeomiti.com. Very easy.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Joshua. I will get back to you. I'm looking forward for another edition of our program next week. And thank you so much, Joshua. And everyone, have a great week. Have a great weekend. And looking forward for another one next week. And have a great one.
Thank you.